Right, it is what day is today? October 6, 2021. Here in the Philippines, it's around 1:15 in the afternoon or 1:10 in the afternoon. This is our live stream for today. Um, I've been posting new videos every Saturday at 6 p.m. However, due to some changes in YouTube settings or policies, perhaps this new videos that I upload would appear, you know, with the date of upload as its primary date. So if I upload something today and it is scheduled to be published next year, say June 2022, it would still be published in June 2022, but the date of publication would be today. So the video will or YouTube will indicate today as the date of the video and not the date of publication as scheduled. So I thought of doing more live stream for the moment so as to show you guys who are actually following this small YouTube channel uh, that I have new content because it might appear that I don't have a new content, even if I actually have lots and lots of new content. Okay, this is Hagbayon channel. This is your host, Jason Chancoco. I am entrepreneur. I am a college professor, uh, and I'm a writer. I've been panelist in various writing workshops, and I have been fellow in almost all of the National Writers Workshop in the Philippines. And I have published my works locally and abroad. And I have been active in the literary scene as a lecturer, as events organizer, and as vocalist and guitarist for my poetry band, the Super Poet Genome Project. And I've published a book already, and next book is upcoming. And I've won some distinction for my works. That's I'm also a musician, a rock guitarist. As I've said, I'm the guitarist for the Super Poet Genome Project, and my companions are sorry about that are so noisy. Um, I'm also into martial arts, particularly Filipino martial arts and karate. And I'm a blades builder and researcher. Just check my page on Facebook, the Minasbad Shop. What else? There, I'm a hobbyist, a prepper, and a survivalism hobbyist. So that's your host for Hagbayon channel. Okay, for our episode today, the main question is life hard? So, is life hard? With the pandemic, and because of the pandemic, people have lesser income. People would sometimes lose their jobs, and even our homes are not that safe because of household transmission, and it's quite unsafe to go out right now. And mm, some people have fear of the vaccine, uh, and there's no definite cure for the disease as of yet. Although in other countries aside from the Philippines, other than the Philippines, there's market improvement in their situation. Now, I asked this question because I want to make a reaction video to a TEDx Talks episode featuring Jon Jandai of Thailand. His talk is entitled "Life is Easy." So there, life is easy. Now the question now is, what did Jon Jandai say in said video? You might want to check the video here on YouTube under TEDx Talks, okay, featuring Jon Jandai of Thailand. In summary, Jon Jandai mused that uh, well, he's not sure why life seems to be difficult for other people. He thinks life is easy. He thinks life is easy. But before, he also used to think that life is actually difficult because he used to live in Bangkok and had to work so hard, but still couldn't feed himself 3 square meals a day. And living in Bangkok, it was so difficult, and he could not afford a house. And you actually have to work around 30 years just to afford a house. And you have to buy everything from food to clothes, etc., and from medicines. Okay, it's difficult to get sick because it's difficult to afford. You can't afford the hospital's medications, with your meager pay in the city. Um, so according to him, what he did was he went back to his province and started living off the land, farming, and now he realized he could actually feed himself and his family, and he would even have more rice, more than enough rice that he could even sell the rest of the the harvest. And back there, he didn't have to actually work for 30 years just to afford a house. He discovered an indigenous method of building house using earthen home technology or craft. And back there, he didn't have to buy everything, even clothes. He could actually tailor or self tailor his own clothes, and he could even sell some of the clothes that he made. And he wondered why in the cities, there are so many universities, even all over the world, and we have so many experts, lawyers, engineers, scientists. But life is getting more and more difficult for other people. Well, in fact, for him, he realized that after leaving university, because he found it boring, indigenous knowledge is actually enough to to actually make you survive. So he concluded that life is easy, and it's your choice. If you want to make your life easy or difficult, it's your choice. So that's what he said in that TEDx Talks episode featuring himself. Okay, Jon Jandai of Thailand. Now, there's a talk of the thing we call the shift. The shift. So we usually hear it from YouTubers who are into prepping and survivalism. So the question now is, what is the shift? Okay, what is the shift? Apparently, the shift is well, simplicity. Going back to basics. Is it bush life, bushcraft life, living off the grid? Maybe, maybe that's part of it. You see, the pandemic made people realize that overdependence on urbanism is not at all a wise, idea. As Jon Jandai said, the more knowledge we have, apparently knowledge from so-called universities, the more destructive we become. According to him, we have now agriculturists who actually have more ways than one to actually poison the land, and we have more engineers who actually would create devices and machines and build buildings that would encroach upon nature, things like that. Scientists would, you know, instead of preventing pandemics, etc., or preventing viruses from going on rampage, they actually end up, making something like that. Or you see, with the pandemic, it apparently is a disease of the city, and with the pandemic, commerce is affected. Okay, economies are affected, even healthcare, education, now the rise of online classes. So there's saw the shift. Okay, people moving away from the city, uh, people doing bar, okay, doing DIY, self-producing, self-sustaining, okay, people learning about herbal pharmacology, okay, and avoiding the greed, so that in a way they could also avoid the infection. um, of course, online classes, and what better way to have online classes when you are in rural areas and you can actually go out, I mean, go out of your house and learn about nature, and learn about indigenous knowledge, aside from learning it from, aside from learning from universities and from organized institutions. So that's a shift, going back to the land apparently, and not having an dependence on what the city could provide us. And you know what, it's something that I think I should also aspire for, should work for, we all should work for. And yeah, I look into this idea of the earthen house, okay, earthenware or something like that. Maybe that's actually something I can explore as well, because we have a property, okay, in the rural areas where there's abundance of clay, okay, and of fine earth that you could use for infrastructure, including to the included in the idea of the shift is the idea of DIY, self-production, sustenance, making your own tools, make your own, etc., etc. And as we said, indigenous knowledge and herbal pharmacology. So therefore, in the main, it's finding a balance between urbanism and nature. There. So can we find a balance between urbanism and nature? Apparently, there's no way that we can't. We have to. We have to. All right. Thanks for joining me. You might stumble upon this video when this is no longer live. I'm gonna be uploading this anyway. So there, this is a Bayon channel, a channel devoted to current events, literature, rock music, uh, Philippine martial arts, blade culture, blade research. Um, what else? Prepping and survivalism. Thanks for joining me. Remember, the pen is mightier with the sword. All right.